Hello, we're gonna go over what to expect during the healing process when you get your brows done with me or any other artist. Okay, I hope this helps, and please use this as a reference if you need it. So the best way I could describe it is going to be your first and second day are not going to be so bad, right? You're going to wash your brows the first day. We want you to get all of the blood and lymph fluid and excess pigment off of your brow area. So whenever you do scab, if you do scab, it'll be a very thin scab, very easy to work with. If you don't wash the first day, you will leave the blood and lymph fluid, which is not going to be like dripping blood, just a little bit of blood that's going to come to the surface. We want you to wash that because if you leave it, it's going to be a thick scab, okay? It's going to be a thick, bulky, chunky scab. And it's going to be more likely to chip off or fall off earlier than what we want, okay? So typically brows scab if they're gonna scab on the third day, okay? I always tell people that you got 2 days and the third day is when the scab is gonna start. Scabbing usually lasts between 3 and 12 days and we want those scabs to stay on as long as possible. Whether we recommend wet healing or dry healing is specifically for that candidate because I do both. I used to have clients wash brows every day. Some clients are better not getting them wet at all. It just depends on the client and the client lifestyle, okay? But we do want those scabs to stay on as long as possible. So I always say, please don't book your brow appointments before a big wedding or a big event because you're gonna be healing in those first 2 weeks. All right, so day 3, you're gonna start to scab. Actually, day 2, it's gonna go darker. Day 3, it's gonna start to scab. And we want to keep those scabs on as long as possible. So on average of 10 days to 12 days. And the longer they stay on, the better. Because the longer they stay on, the more pigment stays on, the more time they're incubating and healing underneath, and the better the results. If you pull the scabs too soon, it can cause not so great healing. It can cause you to lose some pigment during the healing process. All right, so usually you're done with the shed to 12 days. So what's gonna happen is day 3 is gonna start a scab. Day 5, day 6, you may see some cracks in the brow. It's gonna, I always say it looks like a desert floor, like Nevada desert. You know how it cracks in the floor? There's like cracks in the ground. It's gonna crack and that's completely normal. It's just separating because you're still making facial movements and it's cracking the scab. But we do not want to pull those scabs. So day 12, you should be done scabbing. They're going to be flaking off on their own. You want to make sure you're not pulling any pieces. You want to make sure they're falling off gracefully on their own. You're keeping a thin coat of balm on. Thin coat of balm, not a thick coat. We don't want the brow scabs to be soggy. And then when you get done with the shedding, which is usually day 12, day 13, day 14, if not just a little bit sooner, I say between day 10 and day 14, now you're gonna go through a fade out process, okay? So people always want the fade out process. It's just like a regular tattoo. When you get a regular tattoo, it's gonna scab, it's gonna shed, and it's gonna fade out, almost like it disappears a little bit. It may even go ashy a little bit, look a little ashy. We want you to continue to use the balm during that phase as well, because what's happening is we have tattooed or shaded the pigment 7 layers under the surface. So what the skin is doing is holding that pigment under there, and then on week 3.5 on average, okay, I usually say around 3.5 weeks, the color is gonna rise back to the surface. You have to understand that the skin cycles every 28 days, right? Which is 4 weeks. So every 4 weeks, the skin develops new skin, okay? So what happens is we're implanting that pigment 7 layers down and the color will not resurface until the end of week 3.5. We don't bring you back in for a touch-up until around 5 or 6 weeks because we want to make sure that all of the color has resurfaced and settled so we can see the final end result of how your healing was. So that's what's to expect for dry to normal skin, okay? For oily skin, like I said, I didn't scab at all. It went very dark and it stayed very dark for those 2 to 3 weeks, but I did not form a scab and I did not flake. When I did get my eyeliner done many years ago, I did form a scab and I did flake. But for some reason, my eyebrows, I think it's because it's my T-zone area, I'm very oily, I did not scab. So scabbing all boils down to what skin type you have, okay? But the main thing I've absolutely stressed to all of the clients is, please don't go back to using any skincare products with acids and retinols during the healing process, because we use those acids for removal of tattoo, and if you put them on during the healing process, it will take it completely away. Please only use what is advised of your technician and follow all of their advice and directions specifically, because they know best. We're trained, we know the skin. I even had a client to use Vanny cream one time. Well, the thing with Vanny cream, because I'm sorry, they forgot their aftercare bag at home. The thing with Vanny cream that a lot of people don't know, but us beauty professionals may know, is Vanny is short for Vanish, okay? So Vanny cream took her brows completely away and they never came back. Now, can we fix that? Yes, you do have a touch-up session to come to. However, you may have to come back for a third touch-up session, because now you've taken away all of the pigment in the work from the first session. We're putting more pigment down on the second session, and you still may have to come back for that perfection touch-up on the third session. It's very rarely, that's why I say, always follow your artist's directions, because they usually know best of what to do and how to maintain your brows. A professional artist is proud of their work. They want you to wear their work, display their work, talk about their work, refer people to us. So we definitely want the best results for your eyebrows. So please trust us as we trust you to take good care of those brows that we're putting on you. We're working very hard to put on you. We're doing a lot of measuring and a lot of work to make you beautiful. So please, please protect your investment. Protect your investment, because these are not cheap luxuries. These are an investment on beauty and confidence and security. So please follow directions. Don't pick your brows no matter what you do. If you have conferences, have video chats, video calls, Zoom calls, whatever you may have, just tell them, you know, hey, I just got my brows done, I'm in the healing phase. People will understand that more than you hiding them or putting a hat or a scully over them or picking them completely off, which I've had it done so many times. Please don't pick your brows completely off, and don't put any hats on them. Don't be rough when you take off your shirts. Don't wipe your face with a wash rag, a cleansing wipe, a makeup wipe. Don't do any of that stuff. Just let them be. Protect the investment, guys. Let them be and let them heal, and keep a thin coat of balm on, and just let them process and trust the process, guys. Trust the process is the best thing I could tell you, because they will come out beautifully if you trust the process and you trust the artist that you're going to, okay? Make sure you thoroughly research the artist that you're going to and you trust them. You trust that they have your best interests at heart, and they will make you as beautiful as they possibly can. So take care. Follow me on Instagram at Gypsy Brows, and stay tuned for more videos. I hope this helps somebody. So I'll see you next time on the next video. Take care.